On today's episode of Anime Afterthought, welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun Season 2, Episode 21, The One Who Rules Over the Netherworld. Well, here we are, we finally made it to the Season 2 finale of Iruma-kun. I gotta say, it pairs so well with the official announcement. Yes, ladies and gents, wipe the sweat off your brow and unclench your puckered assholes because we are getting a Season 3. And if a multitude of the comments wasn't enough, that last sequence should tell you all. This shit gonna be crazy. I mean, you guys definitely have forewarned me that if we ever did get a Season 3, in particular, something referred to as the Harvest Festival, we will bear witness to Iruma-kun in its truest splendor. Gotta say, I am fucking stoked. Plus, they already gave us our next hurdle with huge implications, having each member of the Misfit class reach a rank of Delit, usually a level required by those who are graduating, not still in their first year, otherwise they will be rejected from the Royal One. Talk about a huge potential for character development. And I definitely got my eyes set on one character in particular. My boy Person, who decides to grace us with his final appearance of the season at the roughly 24.05 minute mark, reacting with the rest of the class concerning this giant announcement. You know, the special class order coming from a giant talking scroll. This series is fucking weird. But enough about the future, let's talk about the present and what this episode did in particular. Once again, they are really laying this shit on thick when it comes to the missing Demon King Dracula and Iruma. Once again, the most popular theory being that Iruma is somehow related to Dracula, given that demonic ages are up in the air, son, or hell, even a grandson. Another one, but less likely, was that Iruma is in fact like a reincarnated version of Dracula, and Alec Red, which is Dracula spelled backward, is just another red herring. No matter what the truth may be, the most likely candidate for someone knowing anything would be Dracula's right-hand man, Sachan, aka Sullivan, aka Grandpa. And what makes matter worse, especially in a certain scene after his flashback, is this overlay of Dracula's face on Iruma. A lot of sentimental emotions being flowed in those scenes, especially when Iruma brings up the fact, like, how does one become the Demon King, right? What is the Demon King? And I absolutely love the importance he puts on this role. It's not just the leader of the Netherworld, it's the Netherworld itself. Whatever the Demon King desires, the demons will do. The Netherworld changing depending on their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations, right? Look at the current state of the Netherworld now. He postures the question to Iruma, what do you think the previous Demon King was actually like? And I love how he's like, he seems like a fun dude, but also continues to question, what if I did become Demon King? What would Iruma's Netherworld look like? I mean, compared to what he's been through so far, the Netherworld seems to be fucking aces. This is like a vacation for him. It's like, would he really change anything? Like, I don't know. It's a very interesting thought. But corresponding with Iruma's connection with the previous Demon King, they are once again foreshadowing it, laying on very fucking thick that Iruma will in fact become the Demon King. You know, once again going over the prophecies, Iruma fitting into a fucking T, Sullivan actually giving his support if Iruma would actually want to go about it, and him actually even think like, hey, what would my Netherworld look like? Now, I highly doubt he would just come out and say, hey, I've decided to become the Demon King. I think that something would actually have to push him into being it, but of course, I've been wrong before and I'll probably be wrong again. But I think eventually something will happen and Iruma will announce like, hey, you know, I think I'll become Demon King. Of course, that's a task easier said than done, as we heard from Sullivan, who is like the #1 candidate. Everyone is just gushing over this dude. What it actually takes to become the ruler of the Netherworld, right? I mean, you have to have complete loyalty when it comes to the 13 crown. We already know Iruma is on somebody's shit list. Now, whether it's him and Ball or Sullivan or I mean, someone will eventually have a confrontation, because if Iruma does in fact like the way things are, or maybe wants to change it to be a nicer place, because remember, he witnessed what demons are like when it comes down to their instincts. They're very fucking selfish. He had to save those fucking kids on his own, right? If he might want to make it a more empathetic place, this is the exact fucking opposite of what Ball wants to do. He wants to go back to survival of the fittest. Every man, every woman, every demon for themselves. So eventually that is going to come to a head. I don't know if it's gonna be Iruma or someone, you know, a couple levels above him that's gonna have to take out Ball, but I don't see Ball going with the program. Last but not least, I actually like that they showed Dirkilla in today's episode and his somewhat relationship with Sullivan. We know maybe he was an attaché apprentice, the right-hand man, but it looks like he was more kind of like the opera of that relationship. But yeah, it's nice to see something other than a shadowy fucking figure, right? Very ominous looking. But this guy, he seems like a fucking character. One of those like, oh, bring them before me. I want the 13 crowns to admire about what I've created. This is my Netherworld. Is that it, sir? Or are you just too lazy to fucking move? It really was a nice role reversal to see Sullivan put into that kind of position. Yeah, all in all, this episode was fucking amazing. I love this season. Like I said, I was so happy we got to see more of the Misfits. Each one is starting to expand its own personality and develop, and I really do like that we're getting, you know, a level of complexity that a lot of series seem to pass over on secondary and tertiary characters. But I mean, they're really focusing on flushing those characters out. We're getting more of their backstories and their backgrounds and more of their family members. I mean, now I know that Jazz has an asshole brother and really doesn't fucking like him. Clara may have an absentee father. Lyde's sister may be a yandere. I mean, there's just a lot of shit that went down this season. And like I said, I hope that continues into season 3. And plus, I want to see some more badass battles. I really, really do. I hope whatever we get in season 3 is just above and beyond what we got at Walter Park. So now I'll put up to you guys. If you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you like season 2? What are you looking forward to in season 3? What the fuck did you think of those outfits? Like, that's a badass image to end on. I mean, it's not as badass as Iruma-kun, but still, that's a fucking mighty good cliffhanger to end on. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching these videos and shooting the shit with me, because honestly, that's what makes this fun. So with all that being said and more Iruma-kun, hopefully sooner rather than later, I cannot wait for future episodes.